Hi, can everyone hear me? Okay, great. So I want to start by sharing a personal story. 2 years ago, when I was 26, I found myself sitting in my parents' living room, crying my eyes out. In spite of following all the rules, going to a good college, graduating with honors, I still hadn't found a career I was really happy with, that I wanted to keep for a lifetime. To give you an idea of where things stood, here is a partial list of all the positions I've held in the last decade. And these all seem like perfectly fine career paths, right? But I noticed a pattern. Whenever I made progress in one of them, I would change my mind and jump back. I didn't know what I really wanted in the long run. So I'm in this moment of crisis, and after listening to me and comforting me for a while, my mom turns to me and says, "I think you should take 6 months off. You know, just see what bubbles up." And while this idea of backpedaling out of my present career, which was as a photographer, seemed scary and counterintuitive, the thought of spending the rest of my life in this pattern of changing my mind scared me even more. So with a heavy heart, I disentangled myself from all of my present commitments, and in typical millennial fashion, I moved back home to my parents' house. Also around this time, I started wearing this hooded scarf that I had made out of some cashmere and wool sweaters that I got at a thrift store. I had no agenda when I made this at the time, I just really wanted one. And I started to wear it out into the world, and something curious happened. People, strangers, started stopping me, and they said, "What is that? I want one." I made a few more and let people try them on. And I started hearing the same thing from everyone. They said, "It feels like a hug." They also spoke of a quiet confidence and courage it gave them, and they said, "It makes me feel like a warrior." In time, I would discover that this hooded scarf would become a self-portrait. In my molecules, I am something between a hug and a warrior. I am equal parts snuggler and girl boss. And this is what happened next. Through a successful Kickstarter campaign, we were able to raise $39,827 to produce the first batch of mantles. I designed the mantle out of a sustainable alpaca yarn from Peru, and I had it made at Icebox. I chose Icebox because they were an artisan knitting mill in Colorado that was also a B Corporation. This is a new type of business that uses the power of their business to solve social and environmental problems. That's also the brand that I created to do this all under. So the word mantle, it not only means a loose-fitting hood or cloak, it also means your role or responsibility in the world. This isn't just me starting Wild Mantle, this is me discovering and learning how to take up my own mantles of sustainability and empowerment as well. So in hindsight, what started as a play-pretend venture in my parents' garage during my time off turned into the real business that I was lacking before and the purpose I was missing. And I was able to reframe that career hopping as a treasure hunt through which I gained all of these skills and experiences that would one day make Wild Mantle possible. In my time off, I ended up reawakening my childhood dreamer, which made it possible for me to create a life in line with all of my inner truths, not just a part of myself. And now in turn, Wild Mantle is helping me answer the deeper call of helping others figure out what their purpose might be as well, and asking that question. And that's what we're here to talk about, right? We're here to talk about what's next. What ideas and opportunities might change our course and help us advance as a society. But as I learned, before you can go out and save the world, you need to start by saving yourself. The impact that you have will only be as strong as the individual that you ultimately are. So So let's stop for a second and talk about self-empowerment and what this means and why it's something you might want to invite into your life. To be self-empowered is to use the power of your thoughts to create your world around you. And it's based on the belief that you have an internal guidance system that knows what's best. So to do this, you're like, well, okay, this is cool, so how do I do this? I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which I invited self-empowerment into my life that you can do as well. 1, build your community. Find people you look up to and invite them into your life as mentors. A good mentor is not someone who tells you what to do, but it's someone who asks the right questions and then supports you as you find those answers from within. 2, live your truth. You have an internal guidance system that's like a GPS. So become a master at communicating with your intuition, because only you know what's in your heart and how you can make that bigger in the world. 3, accomplish your mission. Create tangible ways, even if they're small, to be the change that you want to see in the world. Being successful at something, even if it's small, will build your confidence. And so then as your goals get bigger, your success will get bigger as well. To go through this process, to go on an adventure of self-empowerment, is to transform into being the highest version of your best self possible at that time. It's to learn how to identify your weaknesses and transform them into strengths. And doing this helps you go from being fearful to being fierce, from settling for ordinary to reaching for extraordinary. So while this word mantle has been around since ancient times, it's also a modern call to action for us today. To take up your mantle is to believe in yourself as an innovator. And big ideas often come from a small idea that starts right inside of you. So you're able to create big change if you just start small and build from there. As a planet, we're facing incredible challenges when it comes to our environment and social justice, and we're in need of some big change. But as I've learned, a challenge is also another word for an opportunity. Since the 1980s, we've used the word sustainability to talk about the endurance of systems and processes over time. A sustainable system is one that is socially equitable, economically viable, and environmentally bearable. Recently, I was a guest speaker at the Shipley School, and I learned a new way to explain sustainability that was totally an aha moment for me. In order to communicate this concept to the lower school students, they said that sustainability is first taking care of yourself, then taking care of other people, so that together we can all take care of the environment. So, figuring out how to transition into true sustainable living is no easy task, and it's going to require a lot of imagination. So it's important to remember that the ability to dream is where innovation comes from. I envision a generation of adults that remember how to dream like children, but consciously navigate the real world as advocates for those dreams. In closing, I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. My invitation to you to take up your mantle and lead a self-empowered life is an invitation to hear the music and to be open to what your own adventure might look like, because you're probably already on it and you just need to learn to recognize the clues. But the important thing is that you start wherever you are, you commit, and then you go. You set out and decide that whatever you encounter, you will weather. Whatever obstacles come up, you will learn to overcome. Because that is where the transformation takes place, from leading an ordinary life to being the superhero of your own movie. When you leave here today, I want you to remember something. You all have the opportunity of a lifetime, and that opportunity is your lifetime. Thank you.